welcome. If you're new here, my name is Emily Good, and today I'm going to be telling you the books that I read in August. I DNF'd a book, and I got through 5. So it was the superb reading month. I found a few new favorites, and I'll just get into it. I'm just going to tell you first the book that I DNF'd, and that is Demon Copperhead. I was listening to it on Audible. I own it on Audible, and I had maybe like 6 hours left or something like that, and it's pretty long, and I just did not care in the slightest, which was super disappointing to me because I've seen so many really great things. I'd love to know what everybody really loves about it, because I don't know if I just was missing something, but he just was going through all this tough stuff, and like, I don't know, I had read that, like, that it's taking place like in Appalachia, and like that's kind of where I'm at, and that there was like lots of drug use and like foster care system. I mean, like, to read about the foster care system, sort of was prominent, but I don't know, I genuinely didn't care. I didn't feel like it was going as deep as I wanted it to, and I'm shocked that like so many people really love it. So I don't know if I missed something, or I just, I kept trying to get through it because I just have seen so much on Demon Copperhead, and I just didn't care. Again, I was doing it on Audible, so I don't know if maybe I didn't like the narrator, but I don't think that that's true, because I did like the narrator. I think I just didn't like the story, really. I wasn't seeing the point. And I've heard that like the ending is really amazing. I just simply, I didn't care enough to get to the ending, to be honest with you. So moving right along, I'm going to tell you about my 2 favorite things that I read in the month of August. That was Emily's Quest and Emily Climbs. It is part of the Emily of New Moon trilogy. I'm just going to talk about it, pretending like this is your very first video, so I will leave timestamps if you've already heard me talk about Emily of New Moon. Go ahead and skip forward, because I'm going to do it again just in case anybody who is here hasn't heard me talk about it. So Emily of New Moon is written by L.M. Montgomery. L.M. Montgomery is the same author who is responsible for Anne of Green Gables, the very beautiful, well-known Prince Edward Island environment series. So we all know about Anne of Green Gables. I don't see a lot of people talking about Emily of New Moon, and I just think that I think it's a disadvantage to us as readers. I think more people need to be reading these. It was cozy. It was lovely. I loved the story. I loved Emily. I loved the friendships that she made. I loved the connections that she made. I loved how passionate she was about reading, writing, her friends, Teddy, Harry, Ilsa. I loved everything. I loved her family dynamics. I loved Cousin Jimmy. I loved her aunt. I don't remember her name. Okay, well, I don't remember her name, but I loved all of the family dynamics. Emily really came into her own. She was always extremely tough. She's a wonderful character to follow along. I would follow her anywhere. I wish that Ellen Montgomery was still around to write more about Emily. I felt satisfied at the end of the trilogy. I felt really happy with where Emily was going with her life, and 5 stars. 5 out of 5 for both of these, and for Emily of New Moon, but I finished Emily of New Moon in July. So, Emily of New Moon. Oh my gosh. The Emily trilogy. I will absolutely return to these. They were so cozy. It felt like a warm hug every night when I was reading it, and I really would like to talk about this with more people. So yeah, and I'll just continue right along. So now I'm in my Ella Montgomery era. Okay, so I currently have all of her books coming to my house. And here's another one that I finished by her, The Story Girl by Ella Montgomery. I know, it's stunning. I already know what you're gonna say. It is the most beautiful book you've ever seen. I know, me too. So this is just a standalone novel, and it follows the story girl. Her name is Sarah. And was this my favorite? It wasn't, but here's what I liked about it. So I think I gave it 4 out of 5 because I love the writing so much, and I did enjoy some of the different stories that the story girl told. I enjoyed. So it takes place during a summer where these two boys, the two cousins, I honestly don't remember their names. They end up for the summer at their family's house, and they meet the story girl. So the story girl can weave these impossible, beautiful tales. And that was super cool to hear about. Like, you're right there when the story girl is telling a story and you're reading about it. Why I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, why I took a star off was because sometimes I felt like it was difficult to sit down and read it just because you were so often leaving the plot. You were leaving the main characters to go on this tale of the story girl. So at first I really wasn't enjoying that, but more and more I did start to enjoy that more. But I kept like waiting for something to happen or something. It was a very cozy read. I will probably read it again because like I said, I'm in my Ella Montgomery era. And I did love The Story Girl. I really loved multiple things about it. I wish I would have taken more notes. But it wasn't my favorite. It doesn't compare to Emily of New Moon or, oh my gosh, you know me and you know Stella, and she got into a smoothie while I was in here doing that, and I simply had to go wipe her off. So yeah, The Story Girl was awesome, but it wasn't my favorite. It doesn't compare to her 2 other series to me, but still an enjoyable read. If you're going through like needing something cozy, something easy to get through, just a nice childhood story about summer and friends, The Story Girl is cute. Okay, let me get into my 2 final books. Hi. Hello. Yeah, Mama. Okay. You want to play with my bracelet?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving right along. So, Mr. Magic, I did make a video on it. So I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot. But, you know, I was between giving it a 2 or a 3 or 4. The author's note at the end made me want to give it a 4. But you know what? The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't want to change my rating based off of something that I read after the story was over. So like reading about it afterwards, like it did make me like understand a little bit more. It was kind of like an aha moment. But I kind of didn't appreciate, to be honest with you. I feel a little bit salty about the fact that I had to get through the entire book to get to the author's note, which some people don't even read, you know, like some people don't read those. And I had to get to the author's note and read the entire author's note to feel like I understood the book. It just kind of made me feel a little bit salty about it, I guess. So I'm going to keep my initial rating of 3. Mr. Magic, you might really like it. If you didn't watch that video, I'm not saying that you have to. I'll just talk a little bit about like, so there was this children's show. It stopped in the 90s. There was this group of 5 who were on it, or maybe it was 6. Something happened. Suddenly the show went dark and all the characters dispersed, and they're coming back for like a reunion type of thing 30 years later or something like that. And you're kind of getting to the bottom of what happened. You're kind of learning about what the show was, what it meant to people. It's interspersed with different Reddit posts and like different things. What was interesting was the mystery behind the show. The fact that there was nothing you could find on it. So like there's nothing on YouTube about it. There's nothing written anywhere. There's no old newspaper articles that you can find. And that was interesting because it just like added an extra layer of suspense. But in the end, I gave it 3 stars because like while I did sort of enjoy the reading experience, like I kind of did, but in the end, I was just like, I feel like at the end I was like kind of bummed because I didn't understand what, I didn't understand. And I don't even know what to tell you I didn't understand. I didn't understand a whole lot. And again, sometimes things like go over my head, so this could be my problem. This could be a me problem. But I'm pretty sure that that I was confused as shit. I really didn't understand. So I'm gonna keep my 3-star rating, and I'm gonna still give it a 3 because of the author's note at the end, and because it was like kind of interesting. It just wasn't my. I don't like it when I don't understand at the end. Like, I feel like as a reader, I should understand, like, what just happened, and I did not feel like that at all. So, 3 stars for Mr. Magic. You might enjoy it, though. Don't take my word for it, because it was a fun read. And you might be smarter than I am. You might be able to pick up on things. You might kind of see little things, and it might make sense to you. So don't take my word for it. I still recommend you read it if you like a good thriller. If the plot sounds interesting to you, go for it. Final book. I give it a 5 out of 5 because I was so happy going from Mr. Magic to this. It was so cute. I haven't read a middle grade in forever. Except for, I think Montgomery might be considered middle grade, but I'm not totally sure. So, scratch that. Peril at Price Manor, another new release, I'm pretty sure. Who is it by? By Laura Parnham. Let me tell you about it, okay? You've got Hallie, okay? It starts out with Hallie. She wants to be a scream queen. I'm not sure how old she is. She might be like 11 or something like that. She's younger, and her goal in life, what makes her happy, is practicing every morning. Her different posters are on her wall of like her scream queens, of like horror movies that she likes, and her favorite director is this certain director who actually happens to live in the same town as she does, and she delivers his flowers to him. Okay, so I hope you're following. So she's passionate about becoming a scream queen. She practices every morning. Her mom and aunt are like sick of it, but she's gonna keep going because that is her goal in life. She wants to be a scream queen in a horror movie. And so she ends up delivering flowers to this director's house, and she ends up discovering these creatures there that are kind of overtaking things. And she ends up inside of her favorite director's house where she finds his 2 children who happen to be twins. And they think that it's just like one of their dad's little pranks, like all these weird like creatures that are happening, and all their it was so cute. Like it was literally adorable. It was so fun to watch these 3 kids try to figure out how to beat it. I loved the way that Hallie ended up being able to figure their way out of it. It was so cute. It was so unique. I really enjoyed the whole thing. It's haunted house, not haunted house, but like scary house vibes. Young kids just fighting some monsters. It was so adorable. I really, really loved it. I enjoyed it so much. If you want to see, those are the vibes that the story is. It was so cute. I highly recommend it if you're into middle grade. It was really lovely to go from reading Mr. Magic to reading like a middle grade where everything is kind of spelled out, but it's spooky vibes. I highly recommend this if you're looking for something spooky, and I enjoyed it highly. That's my wrap up. I read 5 books. I DNF'd 1. It was a really great reading month for me. I'm on a really great grind right now with reading. Every single night I am reading either 50 to 100 pages, which is awesome for me. I've kind of slowed down on the Audible, so I think that I could be reading more, but I'm not worried about it. I'm just kind of enjoying my reading time at nighttime after the kids go to sleep. So it's been really awesome. I'm in a good place right now with reading and with the books that I have. I'm so happy. I'm just having a wonderful, wonderful time. So I would love to hear what you read in the month of August. If you did film a wrap up, please comment. I basically always, anybody who comments, I go to your channel. And that's how like these friendships are kind of forming, and I'm loving that. It's so much fun. It's why I got here. It's why I came here to talk about books and to hear others talk about books and kind of form friendships, and I feel like that's happening, and it's beautiful, it's lovely, and I'm so, so thankful. And yeah, let me know, have you read any of these? Are you at all interested in talking about Ella Montgomery with me? Please let me know, because I would love for you to. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Take care. Bye.